Hello everyone. Today let's see about how to apply business logic using the client-side scripting in model-driven apps, Power Apps. Client-side scripting using JavaScript is one of the ways to apply custom business process logic for displaying data to a form in a model-driven app. Client-side scripting shouldn't be our first choice though for applying the custom business process logic in model-driven forms because we have a business rules in the model-driven apps. So that should be the first choice. But however, if your business requirements can't be achieved using the business rule, then we need to get the help from the client-side scripting client API object model, which provides a powerful way to extend the behavior of the application and enable the automation in the client. Using the client-side scripting in model-driven apps, we can enhance the forms to display data to the user. A form in the model-driven apps can contain items such as columns, quick form, grid, etc. So whenever an event occurs in a model-driven apps, it whenever a form loads or a data is changed in a column or item within a form or data is saved in a form, we can attach the JavaScript code to react to these events so that the code gets executed when the event occurs on the form. The code whichever we write to react to these events can be saved in a location called web resource under the model driven apps. Right. So let's see about what we can achieve using the client API object model. So using this client API object model, we can get the values of a column or set the values of a column in the form or show or hide any user interfaces elements. Like suppose if you doesn't want to show like city or any addresses using the business logic whenever the form loads, then that you can achieve using the API object model. And then you can access multiple forms or navigate multiple forms or reference multiple controls per columns. Like if you want to have a value and the same value based on other controls or append the value of some other controls or some other business rules, we can do that. And also we can manipulate the navigation items. Like if you want to click any command and if you want to navigate to parent table, or if you want to do any patch or add any items in the entity, that you can do it using the that you can using do it using the client API object model, right? So this API object model, so the this root object model has four main object, like execution context is the main thing. So inside this execution context, we have forms and grids. So all the form related objects properties will be inside the form context. All the grid items, like if inside a form, inside the form we have a grid. All the grid related information will be in the grid context, and XRM will be in the form of UI, like navigation, controls, recording items, or if you want to use any web API or calling any web API, all these things will be under the XRM. Let's review what are the objects or properties available in the form context. So whenever a user loads the form, we can write a business logic in the form. So I'll show you a demo first so that we'll be understand much better. So go to the Power Apps. Okay, over here. See, whenever okay, so whenever a user, so this is the sample app I created, a sample accounts app. So whenever I click a particular row over here, I just go to the main form, right? So this form, so whenever this form is loaded, you can see a notification, right? So this notification has been, we have written a simple JavaScript to display this notification whenever this form loads, right? And also, if this form doesn't have this facts, so if I remove this and if I save this, okay. So if I reload this particular form again, then we'll be having a fax value, right? So see, this fax value I just removed, saved it and reloaded. This form has the fax value. So we written a code to check if the fax value is null, then add the default value for the fax and add a little notification icon to let the user that this is a default value. If you click on this particular notification, then recommendation like so like this has some description text, right? What it has been done. Like we are letting to know that users or some other persons like this value has been set as default. Okay. So these are the two things, the two demos that I want to show you. Other than this, we have command bars. Like we have a command bar over here, right? So we can write a script to customize this command bar also, right? So if you click on this drop down, this is a custom command bar we have written. So if you click on this custom command bar, like we have a dialog box open. So this is a multiple dialog box, like two dialog box open on click of any events, and we have one more split button. So this is a drop down, this is a split button. So on click of this split button, we retain a power fx expressions to do some business rules, right? So if you expand the split button, we have so many things like this power fx is used to notify the users. Like we return a notification expression to notify the users. Like we have written a hello power fx. This is for the notification. If you want to update any column, suppose if you want to update if the city is if the city is null, and if you want to check and update the city whenever user clicks on some command. So if you click on this command, see the city has the value, right? So this we can update it using the patch function. Suppose if you want to navigate to the parent control, so this is in the child, right? Child. If you want to navigate to the previous sections of the accounts, or if you want to navigate to some other things, we can go do this, right? Navigate. So click. This is taking to the navigation. Or if you want to if you want to navigate to launch your personal external website or SPFX website, just click on it. It will open the particular website. This is the launch command, launch expression that has been used in the PowerFX, right? All right. So that's it for the demo. Let's check how it has been written in the code. So form context, right? So this is the form context model, right? This is the function that has been used for displaying the notification and for setting the value for the fax. So this execution context dot get form context will get the form context details whenever the form is loaded, and this form context dot UI dot set notification used for displaying the notification at the top. And form context dot get attribute is to get the value of the attribute, and get value is for getting the value, and set value is used for updating the value. And get control dot add notification is to add a little icon before that control, right? So if it doesn't want this notification, we can clear the notification using the clear notification, right? And one more thing is, if you want to hide, or if you want to get values, or do particular business rules on the multi-line control, then we need to use something called composite, right? So this function will be used like if we have a street 1, street 2. If this code will check if the street 1 is null, then hide the street 2, right? This is a simple code used to return just to explain the composite controls. And create button, command button. So we have four locations. So the command bar, we have four locations of the command bar. Like, so on the top we have a command bar, right? So this command bar is the main command bar, and we have four locations, right? So this is the main grid. And then on the main grid, whenever you go to the accounts entity, we have a list of rows and columns. That page is the main grid. When you click on a particular row, it will take you to the main form for that particular row, right? Main form. The main form will have a grid view, and then associate, and then the grid view, and the list of command bars in the grid view, right? So this main form will also have some commands. So if you want to customize this main grid, like main grid command, like this command was in the top, the main grid command bar in the top, then you need to choose the main grid while editing the command, while creating the command bar. So the command bar can be created. Just go to the app and click on that particular root level entity, and there is option to edit the command bar. So while editing the command bar, you need to choose which command bar to edit, like either a main grid or main function command bar, or a subgrid level command bar, or associated view level command bar. Like it has so many options, right? So based on your requirement, you need to choose the command bar. So once this particular command bar is form is selected, then these are the commands that are available for us to create a command bar, right? We have a command, a drop down, split button, right? So drop down and split button so this is the example, right? This, if you want to create a command, this is how the command looks like. It's like a button. On click of it, some function will execute, right? So drop down will have so many values under it. We can group the values for the drop down using the group control. Split button is like this. The value will be the text will be there. Other than the text, we have a split button. If you click on the split button, then we have so many sub values over there, right? So either we can attach the JavaScript to these commands, or we can use the power effects expressions, right? So if you want to use the power effects, right? So on the particular command, this is how you just select that particular command, and on select property, you need to write the expressions of the power effects, right? So if you want to notify, see the set the notification in the top, then you need to write a function expression called notify. What kind of expression, whether it is a success, error, or we can do just check on the notification types, right? So if you want to navigate to some entities, then we need to write to navigate and then write the entity name. Or if you want to traverse to some website, just type launch. Or if you want to update the entity or any controls, then you need to use the patch, right? So all the JavaScript that has been written for the customization will be saved under the web resources, right? So suppose if you want to manage dependencies of these files in the web resources, suppose you have an app, right? That app depends upon a column, some columns in the entity, some entity. So if those columns are deleted, this app will be directly impacted. Or if some of the files are deleted, this app will be directly impacted. If you want to manage those dependencies, we need to you can do that in a web resources. Under the web resources, select that particular file, a JavaScript file, or any web resource file, and then edit that file. Under the dependencies, add those dependencies. Like if you look at here, this web resource has a dependency like column dependency and web resource script dependency, right? So using these dependencies, we can avoid errors or any other things in the while during the scripting, right? And these are the best practices and guidance for the model driven apps. Like we can avoid using the windows top, or consider disabling the nav bar when programmatically open forms of view. This is just I will include a link below, like all the pages, or whatever pages or what topics that have been referred over here. Just refer those topics, okay? And let me show you how we added the events and how we added the JavaScript as a web resources. So if you go to Power Apps and open the app, like we have a app over here, right? If you click on that app and then the top level, you have an option to edit the command bar. If you open that edit command bar, this is asking us to what kind of grid kind of command bar you want to edit. I'm just selecting main form. So if you edit the main form, so these are the controls that are already available. If you want to add new, then you need to add new, right? We have a command drop down split button. So I already added a power effects. Like if you want to edit using power effects expression, then you can display it. I already added a split control and drop down control, right? So if you click on the particular split control, you can write the expression inside the split control. Okay, then write update all these things over here and save and publish. If you want to write a JavaScript file, then you need to attach that particular web resource to a library, right? So you can attach the web resource to a library. Just write a JavaScript file and save that file in a local and upload it. Upload the file over here, right? And save and publish that file. It will save that in a in the library, right? It will save that file in a library, right? So these are the web resources. These are the sections. There is a separate sections under the solution of a model driven app to store the web resources. So these are the default web resources that has been available. And also, if you want to add any particular web resources, you can add the web resources like the file, JavaScript file, and other things over here. So if you want to attach a form event JavaScript, then you need to go to the particular form inside the table. Just go to tables under the database and click on the particular entity and then click on the forms. So inside the forms, you have so many forms. Just select whatever form you want to customize the business rules. In this case, I'm just selecting account main form. So once the form is loaded, you'll be seeing that properties and events. So inside the event, on click of the event, you have two events: on load and on save. This is the save event. So whenever where someone saves the form, this event will occurs and check the business logic or any custom event handlers are there. So the second one is on load. Whenever the form loads for the particular entity like sub records, this custom event handlers will fire. So if you want to add a event handler, just click on the event, add event handler, and you can select that library. Like if you click on the edit form, you can select the web resource. So I've written a simple JavaScript file to load whenever the form loads, display the notification at the top and set the value for the facts if it is not available. There is a simple JavaScript written. Just upload the file and just provide a display name and add it to the web resource, right? So once the web resources is added, you can select that particular web resource over here from the library. And the one more important thing is you need to click on this pause execution context. Okay, so this pause execution context is the parameter that will pause the execution context from this form to the JavaScript function. So with this execution context, so this is important. So without this, the JavaScript won't work, right? So this is the important one. I just need to mention. So this is how we'll be attaching the events to the event handlers to the form, right? Right. I know there is a lot to grasp under this section. To my extent of the knowledge, I have covered the high level overview under this document or a README file. You can refer this README file in the link in the description. I also attached the scripts, whatever scripts that has been used for this demo in the GitHub. I'll refer the GitHub link in the description. Thank you so much for being here. Let's catch up in the next video. Hopefully the series of the videos will be on the Power Platform development, like PCF components library, followed by some of the custom, how to create a custom connectors, followed by how do we deploy and manage the Power Platform environments, right? Catch you in the next session. Thank you.